Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you think gaming started with your PlayStation 5 or that fancy new gaming phone, you're in for a surprise. The story of how we play is a long and fascinating journey, one that started long before most of us were even born. So grab your controller, or maybe just your phone, and let's rewind time to see where it all began. Believe it or not, the very first video game wasn't played on a TV, a computer, or anything you'd recognize as a console. We have to go all the way back to 1958. A physicist named William Higginbotham created something truly revolutionary for his lab's annual visitor day. It was called Tennis for Two, and the screen. It was an oscilloscope, a piece of scientific equipment used to display electrical signals. Imagine that. Two players would use small controllers with a knob and a button to hit a tiny dot of light back and forth over a horizontal line. It was simple, it was brilliant, and it was the very first interactive electronic game. It wasn't for sale, it wasn't in homes, but it was the spark. It proved that you could use electronics for entertainment, not just for serious science. This little blip on a lab screen was the ancestor of every single game we play today. Now, let us jump forward to 1972. This is when gaming finally left the laboratory and entered the living room. Meet the Magnavox Odyssey, the world's first ever home video game console. Designed by Ralph Parr, who is often called the father of video games, the Odyssey was a true pioneer. It didn't have a microprocessor, it didn't have sound, and the graphics were just a few white squares on your TV screen. To make the games more interesting, it came with plastic overlays that you'd stick onto your television to create different backgrounds, like a tennis court or a haunted house. It sounds incredibly basic now, but at the time, it was mind-blowing. For the first time, families could gather around the TV and play together. It wasn't a huge commercial success, but it laid the foundation for everything that would follow. The idea that a box connected to your TV could provide interactive fun was officially born. Just a few years later, in 1977, the game truly changed. This was the year Atari unleashed the Atari 2600. If the Odyssey was the quiet introduction, the Atari 2600 was the rock concert. This console brought to massive innovations to the mainstream, swappable game cartridges and color graphics. Suddenly, you weren't limited to the games built into the machine. You could go to a store and buy new adventures. You could build a library of games. This is where legendary titles like Space Invaders and Pac-Man found their home console fame. And the controller, that iconic single-button joystick, is a piece of history in itself. The Atari 2600 became a cultural phenomenon. It wasn't just a toy. It was the centerpiece of the living room, the source of neighborhood competitions, and the reason millions of kids begged their parents for just 5 more minutes of playtime. The golden age of arcade gaming was now exploding inside people's homes. But as quickly as Atari rose, the market crashed. By the early 80s, a flood of low-quality games had soured consumers, and many thought the video game fad was over. Then, in 1985, a hero emerged from Japan to save the day. That hero was the Nintendo Entertainment System, or the NES. Nintendo didn't just sell a console, they sold an entire experience. They enforced a strict seal of quality on their games, ensuring customers weren't buying junk. They introduced us to a little plumber named Mario in Super Mario Bros., a game that redefined the platformer genre and became a global sensation. The NES controller, with its D-pad, was a massive leap forward in precision control. Games became more complex, with scrolling worlds, memorable music, and stories that captured our imaginations. The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Castlevania, these weren't just games, they were epic adventures. Nintendo single-handedly revitalized the industry and established itself as a titan of entertainment. As we move into the 90s, the console wars began to heat up. While Nintendo and Sega were battling it out, a new challenger was preparing to enter the arena. In 1994, Sony, a company known for stereos and TVs, launched the PlayStation. This wasn't just another console, it was a technological leap into the third dimension. Using CDs instead of cartridges allowed for vast game worlds, full-motion video cutscenes, and high-quality audio. The PlayStation made 3D gaming the new standard. Titles like Final Fantasy VII showed us that games could tell deep, emotional stories rivaling Hollywood movies. Lara Croft in Tomb Raider became an international icon. The sleek, gray console was marketed not just to kids, but to a more mature, teen and young adult audience. It was cool, it was powerful, and it signaled that gaming was growing up. The PlayStation didn't just join the industry. It dominated it and set the stage for the modern era of gaming. The new millennium brought another giant into the fray. In 2001, Microsoft, the king of PC software, decided it wanted a piece of the living room, their weapon of choice. The Xbox, the original Xbox, was a beast of a machine, featuring a built-in hard drive, a first for consoles, and a massive focus on online multiplayer. This is where Xbox Live was born, a service that streamlined online gaming and made it accessible to everyone. The flagship title, Halo: Combat Evolved, became the system's killer app. It proved that first-person shooters could work brilliantly on a console and created a massive, dedicated community of online players. The rivalry between PlayStation and Xbox had officially begun, pushing both companies to innovate faster and harder. The console wars were no longer just about characters and exclusive games. They were about online services, hardware power, and creating entire ecosystems for players. While Sony and Microsoft were locked in a power struggle, Nintendo, as always, decided to play a different game. In 2006, they released the Nintendo Wii. Instead of focusing on photorealistic graphics, Nintendo focused on a revolutionary new way to play. The Wii Remote, with its motion-sensing technology, got players off the couch and physically involved in the game. You were swinging a tennis racket, bowling a ball, or steering a race car with your own movements. It was intuitive, it was fun, and it was a massive, mainstream success. The Wii brought in a whole new audience of players, from young children to their grandparents. It became the ultimate party machine and proved that innovation isn't always about raw processing power. It's about creating new and joyful experiences. The Wii reminded the entire industry that the core of gaming is, and always should be, fun. The 2010s saw the rise of a new gaming platform that almost everyone already owned, the smartphone. As phones became more powerful, they transformed into legitimate gaming devices. Simple, addictive games like Angry Birds and Fruit Ninja became global phenomena, played by hundreds of millions of people on their daily commutes. But it didn't stop there. Mobile gaming quickly evolved to host incredibly complex and graphically impressive experiences. Games like PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty Mobile brought the full-scale, competitive multiplayer action of PCs and consoles to the palm of your hand. The free-to-play model became dominant, making gaming more accessible than ever before. Mobile gaming didn't replace consoles, but it created a massive, parallel universe of gaming that continues to grow and innovate, turning almost everyone with a phone into a gamer. And that brings us to today, the 2020s. We're living in an incredible era for gaming. We have the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, consoles so powerful they can render worlds with breathtaking realism and near-instant loading times, but the hardware is only part of the story. Virtual reality is no longer a sci-fi dream. It's a consumer product that offers unparalleled immersion, letting you step directly into the game world. Cloud gaming services like Xbox Cloud Gaming and GeForce now allow you to stream high-end games to almost any device, no powerful hardware required. Gaming is more connected, more accessible, and more diverse than ever. From indie developers creating heartfelt stories to massive studios building vast open worlds, there's a game for everyone, playable on any screen you choose. So, from a simple dot of light on an oscilloscope in a science lab to entire virtual universes we can explore, the evolution of gaming has been an incredible ride. It's a story of technology, creativity, and the simple human desire to play. What started as a novelty has become one of the biggest entertainment industries on the planet, connecting billions of people worldwide. It makes you wonder, what will the next 50 years of gaming look like? What will be the next big leap? Thanks for joining me on this journey through gaming history. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the tech that shapes our world. Let me know in the comments what your first gaming console was. Until next time, keep playing.